The issues affecting you. Revealed, explained, discussed. Now on WGAL 8 in Focus.
Hello, I'm Susan Shapiro. This year was the first year for our community affairs program, WGAL 8 in Focus. We've covered a lot of big topics this year, including coronavirus, the election, and racial justice. As 2020 comes to a close, we'll look back at some of our most important and powerful interviews of the year. We begin with the coronavirus pandemic and our conversation with FDA Commissioner Dr. Stephen Hahn just before the coronavirus vaccines were released. Dr. Hahn, we are seeing a surge in coronavirus cases in Pennsylvania and throughout the nation. What's your concern about that?
So we are seeing a surge in cases, and this is a serious problem. As the weather gets cold, as people move indoors, as we approach the holidays, there are a lot of opportunities, fortunately, for close contact among families. And what we're seeing is that interior close contact is precipitating some community spread around the country. And it's a really serious problem. This virus is still with us. So we really have to be careful about large gatherings, about indoor gatherings, practice social distancing, physical distancing, wear a mask. Wash your hands frequently and protect the vulnerable. This is so important for our folks who are vulnerable, particularly the elderly and long-term care facilities. We must absolutely practice these measures. And it's hard during the holiday season, but it is critical to put this pandemic behind us.
It doesn't seem as if we've heard a lot from the coronavirus task force of late. Is that concerning to you, or is there work obviously still going on?
Yeah, there's definitely work going on. We have been messaging regularly with the states and the governors and health officials. Dr. Birx and Dr. Redfield have been making a lot of trips outside of Washington to localities to spread this message about what needs to be done for mitigation. We're also obviously focused on the development of therapeutics and vaccines and continue to try to support that effort through the Department of Health and Human Services as well as the White House.
You said wear a mask. There's obviously been a lot of politicization of mask wearing and some conflicting information, but you're convinced that that does help to contain this virus?
I think if we look at the scientific data, but also what has happened across some of the states, you may remember that we had an outbreak across the Sun Belt earlier in the year, in the summer. And when that occurred, we saw that these measures, very simple common sense measures of physical distancing, hand washing, mask wearing, avoiding large crowds, that really did lead to a diminution or a decrease in the outbreak and helped to flatten that curve and bring the cases down. We know that works. We've seen that work in other countries around the world. So the empirical evidence is behind all of these factors put together, helping us contain the pandemic.
And obviously along with the social distancing?
Yes, social distancing, hand washing, protecting the elderly, and mask wearing. I think it has to be put together as a package. They're common sense measures. We need to get through this winter. This is a time when respiratory illnesses seem to spread pretty quickly, and we need to make sure that we're practicing these efforts.
Is this worse than you thought it would be?
Well, we always knew that the winter time fall and winter could very well be a serious time. Obviously, we had hoped for a different outcome than we're seeing right now, but we are seeing what we're seeing, and we just have to stay focused on these common sense mitigation efforts. So we all want to see this go away. We all want to put this behind us. This has been a long time in our country, around the world, and we just have to focus on these measures as we wait for vaccines and therapeutics.
And we'll talk more about the vaccines, but in terms of treatment, we certainly do have better treatment than we had at the onset of the pandemic, and we know a lot more about it, don't we?
Yes, I think that's the positive story out of this. Since February, March, and April, we've learned a lot about the disease. There's a lot of information from medical care providers about how to take care of patients who are sick with COVID-19. There are also new therapeutics. There's remdesivir, there's steroids, there's convalescent plasma, and recently we authorized the use of a monoclonal antibody for early phases of the disease. So we've seen a lot of therapeutics come through the clinical trials process. We've looked at the data at FDA, and they're now for providers available to provide to patients. So we're in a fundamentally different place compared to March and April. However, one of the best ways we can fight this is prevention of the disease and mitigation of the spread. And again, despite all that good news about therapeutics, and that is really good news, we have to focus on the mitigation.
Thank you, Dr. Hahn. And a survivor of human trafficking shares her powerful story when we come back.
This is WGAL 8 in Focus, coverage you can count on.
Human trafficking has been described as modern-day slavery, and it's happening here in the Susquehanna Valley. When we could have guests on our In Focus set, a survivor of human trafficking told us what life was like for her as a victim. Janelle Espenshade is with North Star Initiative, and that operates a restoration home for survivors of sex trafficking in Lancaster County, but you get people from all over. And we also have a young woman with us we will only call HL. She does not want her face shown, which we certainly have agreed to because she has quite a story to tell. So we thank both of you for being here, and we certainly want to respect your privacy. So hopefully we will just call you HL at this point. Janelle, tell us, how do you define sex trafficking and human trafficking?
Yes, human trafficking is the transportation, harboring, recruiting of individuals for exploitation.
Who's doing this?
Traffickers, pimps, men, women who want to make money. It's all about money. The end game is all about money.
Are we talking a lot of money? Is there a lot of money in this business?
We are talking a lot of money. Trafficking, human trafficking, sex trafficking has become one of the largest crimes and is on the rise for the largest money-making business in this industry next to drug trafficking.
Wow, so it's a very serious industry.
Yes.
How did you come to know HL?
HL is part of our restoration program. We operate a 24/7 residential program that's designed to really help the survivors from their trauma when they have been involved in the life of trafficking.
HL, thanks so much for being here. I know you're from the South, so we've heard your accent, which was great earlier. Begin to tell me, how did your story start? What happened?
I left my husband. I got into a really bad relationship, and there was verbal, physical, emotional abuse. I just felt worthless. Like I didn't really have a reason or purpose. And in that relationship, he began to use drugs, in which I was forced to do so also. I eventually got hooked, and when we separated, I had no way of getting my drugs. My family were just kind of fading away. I didn't know how to talk to them about it. I just felt alone. And so the end resort was moving away from my family and getting in contact with people where I could get drugs, I could get high and not be ashamed or worried about my family. And I was introduced to a guy that could help me get money and drugs and give me a place to stay.
And what was your payment to him? What did you have to do?
It was sexual favors, trafficking drugs, and whatever he said.
How long did that go on for?
3.5, 4 years.
And what was that like for you?
Traumatic. That's really the only word for it. You lose yourself, you lose your value, you're very belittled. You're not really a person anymore, you're an object, you're an item. And when you're not useful anymore, you're just thrown away. It's like an old toy.
Wow. Did you feel trapped in this situation?
Trapped, no way out. Suicide was definitely something I went through a couple of times. Yeah, there's really no way out. No way out at all, unless it's jail or death.
Now, you said you were doing sexual favors for this man and for others as well?
Yes.
And how often was that going on?
Multiple times a day. Sometimes 20 to 30 people a day. 20, 30 people. I didn't see any money. The money went straight to him. Yeah.
And where were you living at this time? Was he giving you a place to live?
Different motels every night, or staying with whoever I was doing favors for. But when I didn't abide by the rules, I've lived in abandoned houses, burnt down homes, vehicles. I lived under a bridge for a while. Yeah, wherever I could find shelter.
Wow, you must have been so fearful.
Fearful, but in a way, it's like your body's way of survival mode. Yeah. and I'm still kind of stuck in that stage.
Wow, well, we're going to talk more with you and also in our next segment. Is this a common story, Janelle?
Yes. Although every situation is slightly different, of course, this is common. There's a lot of threats, there's a lot of abuse. These women feel, as you heard from HL, that there's no value, they don't have any worth, value, nothing worth living for.
HL, I know you shared with me that this is really the first time you're telling your story publicly, or even to anyone for that matter. Why did you want to come join us and share your story?
I need to. My emotions and feeling is very hard for me, and I have not been able to do that so far. Even in my situation, I wasn't allowed to feel. If I cried, I got punished. I mean, any reaction was punishment. So in my mind, it's kind of like, I can't do it, but I need to heal. And the way my thought process is, if it feels uncomfortable, I push it to the side. And this is a time where I feel like in order for me to fully heal, I have to accept what I've been through and share it and maybe help somebody else in the process.
And when you say punished, what happened to you?
I was beaten. Yeah.
Up next, another difficult conversation on Catholic clergy sex abuse with two sisters who were abused by the same priest.
This is WGAL 8 in Focus, coverage you can count on.
The Catholic Church clergy sex abuse scandal continued to make news in 2020. The Harrisburg Catholic Diocese filed for bankruptcy, freezing all lawsuits against the diocese for clergy sex abuse. Two sisters who sued the diocese shared their experience on In Focus. With us are two survivors of sexual abuse, two of five sisters who have survived abuse by the same priest, Laura Fortney McKeever and Patty Fortney Julius, and their attorney, Ben Andriazzi. Thank you all for joining us. We appreciate it. Can you tell me how this began in your family? I know this dates back years, but Patty, if you can give us some sense of how this all began.
The abuse or the
Yes.
Okay. So a priest was brought from the New Jersey Diocese into the Harrisburg Diocese and landed on our doorstep through Laura actually volunteered to help him in the rectory because he actually went into a classroom and asked for a child volunteer and the nun allowed it. And so Laura started helping him in the rectory and we just got to know him. And he was a master groomer. We always say he was a genius at it. As adults, you can look back and see how he used articles of faith and used the vulnerabilities that we had as children.
To try to get your trust.
Absolutely, and being from a big family, just the things he did, and it worked.
When we say grooming, Laura, what kinds of things would he do?
Well, first, the rectory was right across the street from the playground next to the school. And he would come down into the playground and he'd have pockets full of Tootsie Rolls. And he'd give all the kids Tootsie Rolls. I would always get extra, or I thought I was the only one. I've since found out from another girlfriend from childhood a few weeks ago, she disclosed to me for the first time. And so I thought I was the only one. But it started that way, then it started with hugs. And then it went on to hugs, snapping your bra strap. And then it started off with, then it went to kisses. And then he would stick his tongue out while he was kissing you and French kiss you. And it would just graduate from that.
And Mr. Andriazzi, that's pretty common, isn't it, for this grooming to go on like this? We've heard this with other cases.
Yeah, it's amazing you see the same patterns. These people are experts, A lot of people sit at home and think of ways to think of their hobbies or think of their family. These pedophiles, they sit at home and they think of ways they can gain access to children. And how can they not only groom the children, but groom the parents of the children in order to give them these opportunities. So that's what they're looking for, is opportunity and access to get children alone.
And it's interesting, you say when you look back, it all comes to light.
Sure.
And this all came to light when photos were found of another one of your sisters.
Yeah. our youngest sister. My mom called me, and I was in town getting ready for my wedding, and she called and said, Patty, that my niece had found photos at his home in a box of our youngest sister, Carolyn, and some pornography in this box, but she didn't tell her mom for a while. She ended up telling her mom, one of our sisters, and that's how my mom found out. My mom called me and asked me to go and get Carolyn, and I did, and I didn't ask her, I just said, we know it's never gonna happen again, and that's when she fell apart.
And Carolyn is the youngest of
She is.
She was
the
12 at the
sisters.
time that
Yeah.
that we discovered her abuse.
Yeah.
So the father went even further with Carolyn.
Oh.
Yes.
He abused her for 10 years. Her abuse started around the age of 2, and we know that because there was a mountain of evidence that was taken from his home because he was arrested, and his home was raided. And they found hundreds of pictures, and by the age that they determined on the picture, she was around 2 when the abuse started.
And we'll talk with one of Pennsylvania's leaders on race relations coming up next.
This is WGAL 8 in Focus, coverage you can count on.
The death of George Floyd at the hands of Minneapolis police sparked nationwide protests and a conversation about race in America. On In Focus, we took some of those questions that you were asking to the head of Pennsylvania's Human Relations Commission, Chad Dion Lassiter. Mr. Lassiter, why do you think that George Floyd's death sparked such a reaction, since there have been so many before him?
I think that's a profound question. I think for me, fundamentally, it's the moment that we find ourselves in. Against the backdrop of coronavirus, there were 35 to maybe 40 million individuals who actually were unemployed. They were home. They saw the visual trauma. We've heard the echoes before with Eric Garner when he articulated, "I can't breathe." This one was a little bit different. This was against the backdrop of the killing of Breonna Taylor, the killing of Ahmaud Arbery, and George Floyd evokes something in us when he says, "I can't breathe." He yells for his mother and he says, "I don't want to die." I think that coupled with the white supremacist rhetoric that comes from the White House just brought humanity on every side of the color line and gender line, not just in the United States, but globally, to simply say Black Lives Matter, and we need to do something about the anthology of police brutality by some police officers.
You mentioned it yourself, the White House. How do you think that has affected things at this point?
Well, we have a very divisive commander-in-chief who borrows from a white supremacist playbook. He's very divisive. The tweets are just rooted in racial animosity. And I think that what Americans are simply saying is that enough is enough. And I think this particular situation with George Floyd, we saw the visual and we saw the officer on multiple levels really get satisfaction out of having his knee on the neck of George Floyd. And I think that it just resonated with people's spirits, and people have just had enough.
Here we are in 2020, and we're still seeing systemic racism in this country. What do you think this goes to? Is this just innate hatred, or what's going on?
Well, I think that we've not done the work to have a frank conversation as it relates to the original sin of our democracy, which is that of slavery. Certainly, we don't want African Americans buying into their own victimization, but we tend to not have conversations as it pertains to white racism and white violence.
You mentioned policy. What do you think is the biggest thing that needs to be changed?
Well, if we're looking at the police departments, they're occupying at times a terroristic force in African American communities where African American bodies are always under surveillance and suspicion. But that has a historical trajectory when we look at the overseers on the plantation and the slave patrols. And so when we're talking about the linguistic aspect of defunding the police, we're not saying defund the police. We're saying a redistribution of monies where we can put monies into mentoring programs, mental health, social services. It would be great to have a nurse and social workers who are in our schools and not community police officers. Also, when we're looking at policy, the whole aspect of working with police departments, not around diversity training, but anti-racism training. We all come to a context with a form of unconscious bias, but the anti-racism training gets to the contextual framework of white supremacy. So we're also looking at a national registry where those indifferent cops, because I don't like terminology like that, those indifferent cops can't get employed in another borough or another township. And then what we're also talking about from a policy standpoint is education. We're talking about funding schools the same way that we fund those more prestigious catchment areas.
Pennsylvania just passed 2 police reform bills. Do you think those go far enough? They certainly include some of the things you have mentioned here.
I think it's an initial first start. If you look at the aspect of the bill that talks about we need to really start having mental health examinations for officers. I think for your viewing audience, I am an individual who comes from a family with law enforcement. Oftentimes, police officers put their lives on the line under the guise of fear of calamity. They're not certain if they're going to come back to their significant others, to their children, because they lend their lives, and that's a part of service to humanity. And if they get killed, oftentimes they die a noble death. But I think having post-traumatic stress disorder being unacknowledged and undiagnosed is one of the problems we see, along with the racial gaze of some white officers looking at Black people as non-person and non-entity. So I'm pleased with this bill, but once again, it's an initial first step.
As always, thank you for joining us tonight and throughout 2020 for WGAL 8 in Focus. We look forward to bringing you more of the issues that affect the Susquehanna Valley in focus in 2021. Remember to join us next Saturday at 7 o'clock for WGAL 8 in Focus after NBC Nightly News. Good night.